Hello, I'm Jack. I'm going to talk about the computational optimization of a Kemp eliminase beyond its initial design and subsequent rounds of directed evolution. A little bit about me. My name is Jack, like I said. I'm doing my master's in chemistry at the University of Ottawa, and I'm a member of the Chica Lab. Now, a little bit about enzymes, just to give you a little bit of a refresher. So you have enzymes, they have associated substrates. Together, they form a complex, and then in the end, a product is released from that complex. So why would we want to computationally design an enzyme? The obvious answer is customizability. You can then custom tailor enzymes to catalyze reactions that you deem fit. So an example is the Kemp elimination, but then you can also create value-added products in a commercial setting. And since enzymes are biological catalysts, you can do that under milder conditions, so you don't need insane levels of pressure or temperature, saving the resources and money and all that. And then also it's almost our duty as higher functioning creatures to just keep doing better and better. Other people might not agree, but I think so. So just doing it to do it is also, I think, valuable. A bit about the Kemp elimination itself. This is the model reaction for the extraction of a proton from a carbon. And as of now, there's no known enzyme in nature that catalyzes this reaction, which is why it was used in the first place. So yeah, you have a benzoxazole, and in the end, it turns into a cyanophenol product. And the way that happens is you have a general base, abstracts the proton, collapses the sigma bond down onto this nitrogen, which severs the nitrogen-oxygen bond, creating a phenoxide, and then giving you the cyanophenol product. So how does Ke70 do this? Almost the exact same way. You have this dyad here, the aspartate and histidine dyad. The aspartate increases the pKa of the histidine, which then allows it to optimally abstract the hydrogen from this carbon, collapsing that bond and creating the phenoxide right there, which is stabilized by the serine. And there's tyrosine up above that's pi stacking with the substrate, keeping it in place. So how did we get here? How did we get to having a custom enzyme, Ke70? They can do that. Well, in 2008, Roethlisberger et al., they designed it, the initial one. They got a kcat/km of around 78. 2011, Kazansky et al., they took that initial Ke70, added some insertions, and then ran a bunch of rounds of directed evolution, and they ended up with a variant that had a kcat/km of roughly 55,000. And then we come into the picture, and we kind of combine both of those and synergize them. So I'll get into that in the next slide. But this is just temporary for preliminary results here. Just saying that. So what do we do? Well, we took the 2 key loop insertions from the 2011 paper, which are just outside of the active site, which are believed to increase flexibility of the residues in the region. So we took those and put them into the initial Ke70 design, and then combinatorially did substitutions of all the active site residues that were found to have been substituted or mutated in the directed evolution of that R6 variant from the 2011 paper. Now, I literally just started doing kinetic assays like this week, so there's almost no data. This is just the one that out of the very few that we have that had the best activity so far. It was the one earlier with a kcat/km of roughly 6,000, so nothing to write home about. It's like almost 10 times less active than the variant from the 2011 Sonsky paper, but it's a start. It's one of the first ones we did. And yeah, so I'd like to thank Roethlisberger et al., Kazansky et al., and then everybody at the Chica Lab for just being great, being supportive, and obviously thank the first two for the design.